In this movie we will take a look at how to manage group-owned project folders in DDM. Here I've created a project folder containing a document, and the folder is currently owned by me. If you find that you're not able to lock items to project folders, you must check the admin settings under System Security. Ensure Allow Locking in all folders is checked. Also check Allow users of the same group to take ownership from other group members. This means that if someone has taken ownership of the folder but is on holiday, other users will be able to claim ownership back. We're now going to send this folder to a project team. Comments added here appear in the body of the email that is sent to group members. We can now see that the folder is owned by the project members. Before making changes to the document, we should take ownership of the folder to prevent other users from overwriting our work. When we take ownership, we're prompted to give a reason for taking ownership, and this is retained in the audit trail. We can now make changes to the document or the document record as required. Once changes are complete, ownership is returned to the group. The audit trail keeps a record of this process. It is possible to set folder ownership on creation. On the folder just created, it was owned by myself as the creator. We can also set the folder to be owned by the project team on creation, as shown. Taking folder ownership from the group may not always be appropriate. This is especially the case when working on complex CAD assemblies with multiple users accessing the same design. In this situation, it is important to control who has modify permissions on objects to prevent users overwriting each other's work. Currently, all group members in this folder have permission to modify this item in the assembly, as shown. If this is the case, we should use an additional admin security setting called Prevent Users Modifying Items in Group-Owned Folders. Now users should reserve any item to their workbench before attempting to make any changes. As we can see, users are prevented from making changes to items locked in this folder. The recommended method is to reserve items from the load window, as objects are opened into CAD session. Here we reserve the leg subassembly to our workbench before opening in CAD. Note that we can clearly see who has items reserved from the load window. We can also see from the project folder who has items reserved. Any new items that are stored to DDM will automatically be reserved to the user's workbench, but a reference will be kept in the project folder. Here we see the item locked to the user's workbench, and in the project folder we can see a reference copy. Once changes are complete, the lock should be transferred back to the project folder, allowing other users to continue work on the project. From the workbench, simply reserve items back to the project folder. Here we can see the new part we created reserved back to the project folder.